Hey, what's up, Chris?
Yeah, we've got another one. Another veteran's trying to move from out of state to that Bend market. The impossible, can't find $600,000 to $900,000. I need you to go find him a home, stud. Something that's not on the market.
All right, you got it, man. I'm on it. Later. Negative. Hey, Chris, it's Eric. Yeah, I think I found one, man. Let's do it.
VA Declassified, Secrets of the VA Home Loan Benefit. I'm Chris Bettis from Fluent Mortgage, VA Fluently, and I'm super excited to do our very first Realtor Spotlight. Eric, so let's introduce yourself if you would.
My name's Erik Berg. I'm a principal broker with the Hassan Company out here in Bend, Oregon. Been doing this for a job since 2014. So on my 7th year as a broker here in Bend. And just here to help out and put my clients in the places they want to be. And right now, Bend's a pretty popular spot to be. A lot of reasons to be out here, especially if you love the outdoors.
Nice. And then, do you want to talk first about you personally? You want to talk about your military background? Kind of what's kind of more top of mind for you at this time?
Yeah, I was kind of giving background. So I was born and raised in Westland, Oregon, just southwest of Portland, and then had the opportunity to go to college at University of Colorado on a Marine Corps ROTC scholarship. I was commissioned in 2000 and went into as a second lieutenant, became a platoon commander for a military police company with the 1st Marine Division. Did a couple tours, a couple deployments. Kuwait, Egypt, then we ended up going to Iraq in 2003. Was there for 9 months during the invasion as a platoon commander. Then eventually I took over as a company commander for the last 4 months while we were there. And then in 2005, I got out of the Marine Corps and became a special agent with NCIS for 10 years. Did counterintelligence and did 2 more tours Iraq, toured Afghanistan, and also did a little time in a little garden spot called Djibouti, which is the Horn of Africa.
I'm familiar with Djibouti. So fun. Wow. So a lot of leadership, a huge amount of service for you, and then criminal investigator. So I know obviously you can't share too much of kind of what you did, but any story or anything that like either funny or exciting or whatever, something maybe that stands out from service, either place.
Well, that tour in Iraq in 2003, sitting in Kuwait, getting ready to go across land departure into Iraq. Any Marine who served that time frame remembers that pretty distinctly. And, the big thing that sticks out, besides a lot of things, but more on the funny side, was there was a huge sandstorm that hit us. And, we couldn't see outside of our vehicles more than 3 feet. We actually had to have Marines out holding onto the brush guard, walking us as we moved forward to avoid going off the road and into a ditch. And I do remember we came across a herd of camels that ended up following us for a couple clicks, and were quite noisy. And my Marines kept on asking me if it was okay to shoot the camels. I had to tell them, no, that's probably not the best idea. Let's just keep moving, because the 50 cal will give away our position probably more than the camel screaming.
Yeah, good call. That's probably smart. Yeah, 50 cal would. All right, interesting. And then now, if I remember correctly, I believe you're like hometown, born and raised in Oregonian, I believe, or at least your family is, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I'm born and raised in Westland.
Okay.
Yeah, so born there. Born in Portland in the hospital. I think it's closed now. I think it was Good Sam. It was a hospital back in the day. Okay. And then born and raised in Westland. Went through high school up there. Played sports, did all that, and then ended up going to Colorado because after my junior year in high school, I went down to the recruiter's office to meet with the Army recruiter. And while I was sitting there, because I showed up 15 minutes early, And while I was sitting there, their office was closed, and a guy walked in wearing blue pants with a red stripe and a khaki shirt, asked me what I was doing, told I was waiting to speak to the Army recruiter, and he said, "Oh, you can wait in my office if you'd like." So me being a naive 16, 17-year-old, I walked to his office. 45 minutes later, I'm calling my mom saying, "Oh, I'm gonna enlist in the Marine Corps. I need you to sign off on it." So that's kind of how I ended up. And then, he was a good recruiter and took care of us, and said, "Hey, Berg, you play sports, you got good grades, fill out this application for our OTC scholarship." So I did, and luckily I got it. Then they asked me where I wanted to go to school, and I looked back on the back of the pamphlet, it had a list of all the schools you go to, and I like to ski, so I said, "I'll go to the University of Colorado." And that's
cool.
kind of how it ended up. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of thought to it, but it was fun.
Nice, that's cool. And then you ended up getting a bachelor's, I believe, in what business, wasn't it, from UC Boulder?
Yeah, so I got business administration from University of Colorado.
Wow, you are definitely a person. Based on your whole life, you tend to overachieve, and you definitely finish whatever you start. So, okay, it makes sense that you're a principal broker. Again, kind of esteemed to the higher levels and then leading again. So, all right, cool. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Hobbies, family, anything. I mean, I kind of have a sense of who you were kind of coming in and growing up in the military. Your family and who you are today, maybe.
Yeah, so back in 2010, I met my now wife. I was actually a CrossFit coach down in San Diego, and I was coaching this woman, and she said, "Oh, I have a daughter who's in the military." I'm like, "Oh, that's great. Well, what'd she do?" "She's a pilot in the Air Force." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, how old is she?" And this at this time I was a little younger, but she said 26. I said, "Well, that's a little young." She said, "Well, you're a little short." So took about a year and a half, but I got back from Djibouti. And this woman, my now mother-in-law, Diane, brought my wife, Kristen, to one of our workouts. And that's when we met, and we started dating from there. And then, so it worked out. She was in the Air Force. She was a C-130 pilot, and she was stationed in Texas at the time. But we were able to manipulate a little bit, and we both got stationed in Hawaii together. And we were there for 3 years. We had our first daughter, Kylie, was born in Hawaii. And at that point, we decided that we needed a little bit of a lifestyle change, because between the two of us, we were never home, training and deployments. So the stars aligned, and we were able to get out of the service. And I had family in Bend since 1999. My mom and stepdad moved over here in '99 when I was in college, and so I've been visiting Bend ever since I was a kid. Growing up, going to Sun River, skiing, and coming out here to go camping and fishing. So it just made sense to be here. And we now have 2 daughters. My second daughter, Kate, she's 4, going to be 5. And in November, Kylie, our oldest, will be 7 in August. And so we're big in the outdoors. Right now it's camping season. So I never thought I'd have a travel trailer, but now I have a travel trailer, and we go camping just about every weekend we can. When my job and my wife's job, we can deconflict it and get out of town.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we're big on the mountain. Our girls have been skiing since they're both 3 years old. Both my wife and I ski. I do a little backcountry skiing as well. And then, mountain biking is probably the other thing that we really, really love to do.
Yeah, which we obviously got to see at the beginning. So specific to that, obviously, you went on your mission, you fulfilled your mission. So question then for the viewers on here, for every potential listing, do you ride your mountain bike or your bike to that listing? Or is that a one-off? You don't always?
Sometimes it's my gravel bike.
Okay, makes sense. All right, awesome.
I wish I could. I wish I could ride everywhere. But unfortunately, I need to take clients around sometimes too.
That makes sense. And so hobbies, so married with 2 daughters. I'm sitting here, I've got 2 daughters of my own. That's pretty cool. So hobbies, skiing, obviously you said there's amazing skiing there at Bachelor and Bend. Is that kind of what drew you to Bend besides the lifestyle, just outdoors?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, my wife and I both went to school in Colorado. She wasn't at Boulder. She was down in the Air Force Academy of the Springs, but we just lived in the mountains. We considered going back to Colorado at one point, but the nice thing about Bend is we have so much more water here. The lakes, the river, you just don't have that in Colorado. So that was a big draw too, because we love going out to the lakes in the summertime. And being close to family, have a lot of family support here, so we're lucky with that. I work with my mom and my brother My mom's getting ready to retire, but
Okay.
yeah, makes it good having a team, because every once in a while when you're out of town, you have someone to cover down on you and make sure that your people are taken care of.
So then that's a nice segue. Can I ask you, how did you get into real estate? You mentioned mom. So is that, because you have such an extensive, successful background, that you could have had so many doors in front of you. So.
Yeah, we looked at a lot. I mean, I could have, if I had stayed with NCIS, that meant that we're going to be, every road in the government leads to Washington, D.C. And for me, my wife and I just didn't want to take that option. We didn't want to be moving around all the time. We wanted a little more just of a home base and raise the kids in one spot. My mom, Cindy's been doing real estate since 1987. And so she's got a very successful business. And so I figured, why not do the family business, learn from her as she's getting ready to transition to retirement, being a full-time grandma. So then my brother came on a few years later, and it's been great. It's a good dynamic.
Wow, that's really cool. You don't see that so often with such a successful team. So so how long then have you been in real estate at this point?
I've been on. I got my license in 2014.
Okay, nice. You're definitely not new. So, I mean, that's 8 years in almost. How's the Bend market today? I think I know the answer, because nationally we have a little bit of a inventory shortage. How's your market specifically that side of the mountain looking?
So it's tough. There's not a lot of inventory right now. The demand for Bend has grown substantially. Even since my mom moved to Bend in 1999, there was a population of 48,000, and then fast forward now, we're over 100,000 people in Bend. And the demand because it's such a desirable place to live, people with the ability to work remotely, they can be based in San Francisco or Seattle or Portland or wherever it may be, but they can live here. And if they want to have that outdoor lifestyle, we have good schools. And it still feels like a small community, even though it's getting bigger. I run into somebody I know every day out in the street or at a restaurant or a pub, whatever the case may be. It's a good place to be.
Yeah, Bend's an incredible town.
And so right now, with all these people wanting to move here, we've seen prices just like anywhere else, any mountain town on the West Coast, prices are going up, and that's just because we don't have the inventory. And so it does make it difficult, even for sellers sometimes, because we have sellers who have called us wanting to sell because they either need a bigger home or they want to downsize. But the issue is, where are they going to go? If they're trying to do if they're trying to stay in Bend, they need to have a plan. Are they going to rent something? Sell it. You're going to be homeless in 30 to 40 days. So what's your plan? Do you have a rental? I've got a few clients that have a travel trailer. They're living on a travel trailer while they find their next home. But they just have to have a plan. So some sellers have said, "Hey, we're going to have to wait until inventory improves." Once things, and that's for the people who want to stay here in Bend. If they're going somewhere else, then it's easy to find that next step. But it has been difficult. But we've been successful, and we just tell our clients, our buyers, that hey, you're not going to get the first home that comes up. It's happened a few times, but it doesn't usually happen that way. It's usually that third, fourth, fifth, or sixth home is the one that they end up getting. And just structuring that offer to be competitive, because not everyone has cash. Most people need to get a loan, so that's why I call you and you figure it out.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's obviously cash is yeah, it's cash, but not everybody has that. So, what's kind of the average price point in your market?
Say.
Last time I saw, the median home price in Bend was up to $590.
Wow.
Which is absurd to me, but it's but also that number is a little bit skewed, because not only do we have the normal homes, but you also have the resort homes, and those resort homes, the luxury homes, that kind of skews that number. But right now, first-time home buyers, you're looking around 600.
Okay, so I repeat back what you just said in case someone didn't catch it that's listening. First-time home buyers are at $600,000. So the number, in case you didn't see one of the prior videos, I know you already know this, but the conforming loan limit is $548,250. So the average starter home is a jumbo loan. It's already above the conforming loan limit. So clearly you served. I know obviously we're passionate about VA at Fluent Mortgage. Just this last session, we talked about the Blue Water Native Vietnam Act and how now there's literally no ceiling anymore for zero down. There's no ceiling anymore. But reality is, at least in your market, are you really seeing zero down transactions approved? Are people getting accepted offers with nothing down no matter what?
We, a couple years ago, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Right now, I haven't worked with anyone who did zero down. Not to say that it can't happen, but it's also, so it might be a little bit of a timing issue too. You know, if you see a home that maybe the sellers started out of the gate a little high, and they've done a price reduction or two, that's when, you know, the irons, that's when you want to strike, is when they've done a few price reductions and you get in there before they do another price reduction. You say, hey, here's a great loan, great buyers. It is 0% down, but it's backed by the VA.
Yeah.
You know, so we just got to kind of monitor that. And there are homes that they are, you know, sellers are sellers, and they're trying to get the highest dollar they can for the sale of that home. Sometimes they overshoot it a little bit. When they start adjusting, that's when you strike with that type of loan situation.
Yeah, the thing so repeating back what I heard you say is we're just not seeing zero down offers realistically in your market today. So no matter what loan product they're going with, they should plan on putting some sort of money down, even if VA says you could put zero down. Okay, so hypothetically, someone's coming in for a civilian loan, 20% down. VA, you can put 20% down as well. One of the beautiful things, though, is I think we're seeing a lot of appraisal guarantees, concerns, and that's one way to maybe sweeten the pot. Obviously, VA is the best product in the world because it doesn't matter where it falls, your structure doesn't change, unlike a civilian loan.
Right. So, and that's we've talked to people as well. It's like, hey, I got 20%. Well, that's great, but you know, is that all your cash reserves? You know, maybe we do 10% down, and you have that. And then we waive the appraisal. That way, if the appraisal does come in a little low, you got that cash sitting back there to make the difference. So, and that's worked for us.
Yeah, the thing that I get the sense of is you're definitely not afraid to work, I can tell. I know we've talked before. I saw you win a transaction where literally you're like, I asked you, why did you win? You're like, because I'm not afraid to pick up the phone. Every other person texted, right? Because it's easy. And you're like, I'm not afraid. I do the stuff nobody else does. So you picked up the phone. You found out the hot button for the seller. And so then your buyer won just because you grinded and you found a way to make it happen.
What did you say?
You just got to work. Yeah, everybody wants, technology is great, and text messaging, there's a time and place, and email, but you got to pick up that phone. You got to talk to either a broker, you know, because a lot gets lost in text messages. So I think, you know, just going the extra mile and not being afraid to work, and you come out on top for your clients, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm going to circle back to, you are a federal criminal investigator. If there's a way to find it, if there's a way to find a house, if there's a way to find a way, you're probably the guy that's going to do it. And second generation with how many years experience with mom and brother then as well. I mean, you got like 50 years experience coming in, and your background, oh my gosh, yeah. If it can get done, Eric at the Hassing Group's going to get it done.
We'll get it done. A little bit of experience, but being a criminal investigator and a counterintelligence agent, we deal with people. And, you know, being a real estate broker, you're dealing with people. Not only my clients, but I'm dealing with escrow officers and lenders and other brokers, and at times the other client, the other side. And, you know, one of the nice things, you know, very good thing about when you're in person and you're asking questions or you're having that conversation, silence sometimes goes a long ways. Because people want to talk. So you ask a question and then you kind of be quiet for a second, let them fill that void. And a lot of times you get the nuggets you need to make that offer that's going to get accepted. You know, and you find out what those sellers are actually looking for, what the pressure points are, and then you can write that offer up and be successful.
Yeah, I would say from our very first interaction together, I was impressed with your communication. So you're just spot on. Professional, great questions. Like, you definitely know what you're doing. So I was impressed day one. So, all right, Eric. anything? Usually it's just the one direction. Anything you want to maybe ask of me? Anything? I don't know.
No, I mean, I will say that now that I've referred clients to you, whether it's for refi or a purchase, I just want to thank you and your team for coming through. And it's being a veteran and working with veterans. A lot of times they want to go with certain financial establishments that are geared towards the veterans, and I appreciate that. Because I myself am a member of some of those financial institutions. But when it comes to home loans, when you're never dealing with the same person when you're working with those big organizations, it's someone may start the process, then the file gets handed over to another processor, whatever the case may be. But I know my clients, whenever they reach out to you, they're going to talk to you, and that goes a long ways. And there's a few of them that were pre-approved somewhere else, but I gave them your name, and they jumped ship, and successful closes, and everyone's happy.
Nice. All right, Eric. Well, hey, thank you for your time today. Thank you for your passion, your knowledge, and all that you shared. I know, like VA Declassified, we have 3 goals every time. We want to battle against fake news. We want to drop knowledge, and we always give a tool to succeed. So based on what you said today, I'm confident you gave them a tool to succeed. So look forward to seeing you soon, Eric.